Taking a look here at SuperMicro Computer, we have the daily chart up right here. We closed about 87 cents from the previous trading session. You can kind of see on the daily chart where your volatility has been over in the past week or so. And obviously, you have this gap in here that we need to fill. That gap's going to be up here right around that 36 mark. It's the upper 35s, 35.89, 35.90, that whole area. We need to get back up there to fill. And then we need a breach and a hold of the 36s in here before we start working our way up to this 200 SMA, which is currently at 42. And then above that, it is going to be this major resistance here of that 48. The reason that we call that a major resistance in here is because on the weekly chart here, as soon as this loads, you guys will see that that has been a better resistance for us in the past. So you can see you have a couple weeks here where it's a resistance, go all the way back to December. And then right here, August, all the way up until late October, just a harsh resistance here on those 48. So that is kind of where we want to be above the 36s. But until then, we have that 200 SMA on the daily that we can worry about, especially if we try to make a run into earnings. We have earnings coming up after market May 6th in here. So if we do perhaps get a nice gap fill in here and then a breach and hold of the 36s, then we can worry about this 42 and then perhaps the 48. But all in all, a pretty decent wedge here being formed overall on the chart for SMCI. Now, if we go down to the 30-minute chart here, you kind of see what happened in here today. Just a nice big move in here, holding that 9-day EMA all the way up until the last 30 minutes of the day, obviously, when everything dropped, right? You had a lot of questions going into all the earnings reports that were happening after market today. You know, you had Apple, Amazon, etc., stuff like that. So obviously didn't know where everybody's going to stand on AI, especially after that big news that came on yesterday's trading reports or earnings reports right after the trading session. So didn't really know where that was going to end up. So everybody kind of dumped it there right there at the end. So again, what are we looking at in here on SuperMicro Computer? Well, 36 is going to be that level that we're going to watch. We need a gap. We have to fill this gap first, obviously. But 36 is going to be the big level in here. Support wise, we're down here at the 29 level. That's where we pulled back to 2 days ago. But your immediate support, probably you can just chalk it up about 31, and then you can call 29 your next support, and that's going to basically be where that lower trend line is in here. Your RSI is basically pretty much neutral. It's at 45, so don't have to worry about anything there. You do have an earnings catalyst coming up next week, so perhaps RSI doesn't really mean anything to us just yet. More or less, we care more about that $36 range in here going forward immediately. Now, your IV in here has shrunk, although we did get an expansion off of that gap down in here, but we still have some decent IV in here. IV rank of 25, right around $1.30 expected move by tomorrow's trading session. Next Friday, which is going to contain your earnings cycle, right around a $4 expected move, $5 expected move by your May monthlies, go all the way out to June, right around an $8 expected move in there. So again, what are we looking at? Gap fill here on the daily. We're looking at the 36s. Above that, we're watching the 42s. If you go all the way out to that weekly chart, 48 is going to be a major resistance. And then support wise here, it is going to be that $29 range or this lower trend line, wherever it does end up in there. So we're going to see if we can respect this wedge as we're working our way into earnings. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you're interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.